Well, here we are again. Seems like it's been a long time coming, and this is the first day I've actually come to do this. You can hear in the background, you've got a school over there, so you've got screaming kids, and I have the greatest aversion to screaming kids. It's just a constant cacophony. Then over there's a lawnmower in the churchyard, where I always choose to sit rather than, this place. The churchyard is my little sanctuary, but probably because it's the first day of sunshine, then they're out with a sit-on lawnmower doing that. Anyway, I'm going to be speaking about a lot of things. A continuation to speak about this whole Elon Musk thing, and what the perception is of Musk. So let's just start then with the perception. We look on YouTube and all we see is genius, Elon Musk. And he's designing fucking rockets to Mars, and he's designing brain chips to help people with this, that and the other, and he's designing underground tunnels to help the congestion, and oh goodness me. Well, I mean, fuck me. You look into what actual qualifications he's got, and it starts to get very, very vague. Apparently he's got a Bachelor of Arts in Engineering, and he may have a degree in physics. But then in another Google excerpt it says that, Musk was accepted for a physics degree course at a University of Princeton or something, but he didn't show up. And so and the rhetoric basically on Google is Musk has a background in engineering, Musk has a background in physics. It's very vague, no fucker knows what he's got really. And so what I said from the very offset was, look, the so-called genius, we can look at genius very, very broadly, because the concept of genius is a broad concept. Someone who is exceptional, and it can be an exceptional ability, or in physical realms or something, or exceptional painting or art, or it could be exceptionally math or physics or whatever. Somebody that's exceptional, that thinks outside of the box, which pioneers. So to look at Musk, from the very beginning he was this kid that was thinking outside of the box, and he was reading above his age from the get-go apparently. And he is well read and he is knowledgeable, and so I don't have a problem in calling him genius in whatever respect, because when I made my video the other day speaking about genius, I'm saying, look, genius comes from the imagination, people. That's where genius comes from, and it's something which is out of the ordinary, like Beethoven or Rembrandt or Van Gogh. Any of these people, if they bring something into the world which is pioneering and new, then they deserve the label of genius, because nobody else has done it. So I don't have a problem calling Musk a genius. What I have a problem with is that the general consensus with the stupid masses and the ignorant media is that Musk is responsible for all of this wonderful stuff. When if you looked at the organisations, how many people work for Tesla, how many people work for X, how many people work for Neuralink, how many people work for the Boring Company, well, it's probably in the millions, or at least it's in many, many thousands. And these people are the top of the field, top physicians, top engineers, top mathematicians, top. When you've got that amount of money, you're not paying peanuts for fools, are you? So that facet of it is equally genius. Mathematical geniuses, scientific geniuses, any level of designing or engineering geniuses, you know, his companies are going to be filled with these very, very exceptional people. But what I do is that I just look at things rationally, and I like to see things which are believable in a rational, sensible way. Now, if we look at people like Jordan Peterson, for instance, who hasn't ever been labelled as a genius, but I think he's a very, very exceptional man, and I think he most certainly should have the label of genius. He's very broad in his thinking, exceedingly articulate, and he thinks in very, very unique ways. And so when we listen to him, we can clearly see what he is. How his mind works, how he articulates himself, and how he goes to do this and do that, and write his books and this and the other. I'm waiting for Elon Musk to write a book. I'm waiting for Elon Musk to patent anything, you know, of his own volition. I'm waiting to hear a conversation that remotely tells me that he's got an IQ above 75, to be quite frank. I've only heard, you know, I've listened to a lot of his videos and a lot of his interviews, and it all just seems very, very elementary, very inarticulate. And I'm like, well, look, any of the geniuses that I've ever been acquainted with via YouTube or via books and things like that, they first and foremost can express themselves. That's the origin of their genius. They can express themselves, because if you've got a genius that can think about all these wonderful, incredible things, and then can't articulate that to people that are going to implement it, then, well, you know, I just imagine Musk in a board meeting. Fucking hell, man, spit it the fuck out. Spit it the fuck out. That's what I'm saying. And so, then when we go on the internet and we look at all these forums, there's millions of people that don't believe it either. So for you know, some of you fanboys out there, and to be quite frank, there were no thumbs down when I'm talking about Musk being a fraud, but there were, you know, over 20 thumbs up, and the comments were overwhelmingly in agreement with what I was saying. People are not standing for it. They're not believing it. And thank goodness people on my channel, they're not believing it. They're not buying the CNN rhetoric and bullshit. They're just not. And, you know, if you listen to Musk on Rogan, what the fuck does he say? If you listen to people like Eric Weinstein, then instantly you know he's exceptionally clever. And just to listen to him, you're bewildered, because he's talking about stuff you've never heard of. Musk, it just doesn't happen that way. And so I've listened to interviews where he was with President Trump sitting side by side, and this interviewer wanting to ask what was the relationship between him and Trump like, and tell us, Musk, about, you know, your origin and how did it come to all this, the richest man on the world. And he started with the usual and he mentioned PayPal, and then it was just a load of and a load of bullshit, and it got so embarrassing that Trump had to intervene to take him out of this shit and to fucking change the subject. And the guy doing the interview said, "Well, I'm sorry for asking you such, you know, huge questions." Yeah, you know, huge questions. Well, I don't know about that, but I was waiting for the huge answers, and there wasn't any. So all we were left with, once again, is that Musk made his millions from PayPal, and that's where it gets very, very vague. And then you see him around SpaceX, and he's talking about rocket propulsion mechanisms and this and the other. he's not saying anything that, you know, a 5-year-old wouldn't get annoyed with, to be perfectly frank, people. So I don't know where you think that Musk is this genius, and he's doing all these things. He's genius in that he's like a child. And like Einstein, you know, he had this vision of himself flying on a rocket at the speed of light. And then he started to investigate if he could ever find or discover what the speed of light was. And, well, you know, he started to write equations like E equals mc squared. And that's where his so-called genius derives from. And so you look at that and you go, well, okay, well, Einstein's got something on fucking paper. What's Musk got? What's Musk got on paper? You know, Einstein did it, sitting at his fucking desk with a pen and paper. What's Musk done? You know, you see him faking taking a puff on a spliff like this. He didn't take it in. It was just propaganda for the idiot. So the idiots will go, oh, Musk is one of the lads. He's one of us. He smokes weed. No, he doesn't. No, he didn't. No. And then, you know, you see him and he's invited onto this big fucking show, and he comes on doing his stupid fucking idiotic embarrassing dancing and, you know, pumping the fucking air. Here I am, here's the fucking hero to save the world. Oh, come on. You know, he's acting like a fucking superhero. And then he's got his black sunglasses on and his black fucking MAGA hat. He just looks like a 14-year-old twat. And he doesn't say anything again. Just doesn't say anything again. And all the fucking idiots that are interviewing him are just like, whoa, crazy, Elon Musk, he's so genius. Listening to Rogan talk about him, Rogan goes, I don't know how the fuck he does, you know, what he's supposed to do. Everybody that's got a brain says the same thing. I don't know how he does it. Well, the simple answer, people, is this. He fucking doesn't. If you find it absolutely incomprehensible that he's the genius behind Neuralink and the Boring Company and SpaceX and, you know, any fucking thing else that he's supposed to have his fucking genius hand in, well, you would expect that he's sitting at the fucking table with blueprints in front of him. And he's got fucking the pen and some paper and he's working the math out, he's working the science out and, you know, doing all this stuff, but we don't see that, do we? You know, we just see a picture of, you know, CAD, you know, some sort of engineering shit on the computer. And we could all fucking do that. Hang on, the camera's coming. Let's put fucking CAD on the computer. And, hang on, let's leave a fucking quantum mechanics book on the fucking desk. We can all do that. I'm looking with my eyes, and I'm listening with my ears, and I'm not seeing it. So, if we want then to look for a reasonable explanation, we look further afield. So I look further afield and I look into David Icke. David Icke's camp. David Icke, the British guy, the conspiracy theorist. David Icke has been very, 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 very close to the bone ever since he started 35 fucking years ago. And what he's saying about Musk is that he's a frontman, he's a puppet. You know, he isn't this fucking world's most richest person. All his companies are owned by consortiums, and you know, let's just take X for instance. This is a very, very important one, people. Twitter was owned by a consortium, and they wanted to stifle the freedom of speech, right? And so it was all going very, very well for them because they was achieving their objective. They're trillionaires, apparently. They've got this huge platform and they stifle the freedom of speech just like what they want to do globally. And then it seems like, oh, they got a bit short of cash from their trillions and gazillions. They got a bit short of cash. And so they thought, well, we'll put Twitter up for sale. Well, you know, it's our baby. You know, we can control the whole masses with it. And to let go of it to someone like Elon Musk, who says he's, you know, vouchsafing freedom of speech and that, well, it's not the best idea for us. All of our hard work is going to pot. But, you know, we need the money because, you know, we've got to pay our mortgages and we've got to put petrol in our cars. So sold that to Musk, but they never sold it to Musk. Musk bought into it a portion, but Musk doesn't reveal the shareholders. And if you're not revealing the shareholders, it's for a very, very good reason. It's because you don't want the public to know who the fuck owns that company. And if you don't want the public to know who owns it, then it's obviously for very, very good reasons, because it's going to have a massive negative effect on what you're telling the people. You're telling the people that you're for the people. It's all about freedom of speech and, you know, Musk is the hero. But if you were privy to who the shareholders are, then you would probably see 99% guaranteed that they were at least some of the existing shareholders, and they still have the same interest to stifle freedom of speech and all the rest of it, because that shit just doesn't change overnight. And so what I think that is, and what David Icke thinks it is, you know, it's just given the illusion of freedom of speech. And it gets everybody speaking easy. And I spoke about this in another video. Everybody's speaking easy. Everybody's going like this and what they think and what they feel. Meanwhile, their data is being gathered by the powers that be, by the hidden hand. And everybody's name and number is marked. And so it's the most beautiful thing for an enemy to do, isn't it? An enemy pretends that it has a freedom of speech platform, and it sells it to a buffoon who the idiots have bought into because they think he's a hero and he's a great guy, and he writes "fuck your face." Fuck yourself in the face on a tweet, and everyone thinks, yeah, Musk's one of us. No, he's not. He's just a fucking puppet, and you're all being fucking led to the precipice where you're all going to go tumbling fucking down. You know, this is genius, people. This is genius. Seeing things like this is genius. David Icke's genius. You know, he's got it all together. Whereas the whole world, you know, fucking idiots like Rogan haven't got a fucking clue. Haven't got a fucking clue what's going on. So then when you look at Neuralink is about putting brain chips in people's heads. Musk's company is the forerunner to creating cyborgs. The forerunner to creating people whose brains are connected with these thousands of satellites that Musk is putting up around the world. You know, anyone that's awoken must have a problem with surveillance. Yeah, surveillance is bad. Surveillance is this. All they're looking at is the spine at us, and then you're all sucking Musk's cock when he's got thousands of fucking satellites up in the sky, which all these hidden hand globalists, they're using to fucking spy on you, pricks. Oh, Elon Musk's a hero. Fucking hell. I can't catch my breath. Can't catch my fucking breath. And then Musk, only a few years ago, you know, we've invented a monster. It's the demon, it's the devil. We have to be very careful. And then he goes full steam ahead in the creation of it. And then it's like, well, you know, if we don't do it, then, you know, China's going to do it, and we'll all be enslaved by them. It's all a crock of shit, people. It's all a crock of shit. They all fucking try and stir up the fear porn. And so everyone's terrified of the idea and the notion what China's going to do. We haven't got a fucking clue what China's going to do. The only thing we ever know about China, what they're doing and what they're supposed to be doing, is what the American government tell us. And you know, they're the biggest lying bunch of cunts on the planet. So I wouldn't believe a single fucking word of it if I was you. Because they're all telling you a pack of fucking lies to terrify you about the big threat of Iran and China and all the rest of the boogeymen. Meanwhile, then they're banging satellites up and they're fucking telling you that, you know, this guy Musk, oh yeah, he's your man, you know, he's going to save the world. Yeah, fucking rockets to Mars, he's going to save the fucking world. Well, what's going to happen to the world? Well, scientists predict that in 50 trillion years, the sun's going to go supernova and then gobble up the world. So when that happens, by some stroke of fucking genius, that the human fucking pink slug is still alive, well, we can go in rockets and go and live on Mars, so the human being won't die. What a preposterous crock of fucking crap. Oh my god, just, you know, for fuck's sake, people. Who thinks that rockets to Mars is remotely viable or feasible? Who the fuck's going? Is Musk going? I'll be all fucking cheering if Musk's in the fucking driving seat. Yes, Musk, it's your baby, it's your fucking idea, then go. Then go, that's what you want to do. You spermiate fucking Mars and you live in a fucking bubble on fucking packet food, and oh my goodness, it's a crock of shit. It's just a fucking joke, people. When we've got 2/3 or 3/3 or 3/4 of the world's populace living on $2 a fucking day, ain't even got potable water, what sort of a philanthropist is Musk? He don't give a fuck about the people, because if he did, richest man on the planet, then you would have thought that he would have tried to fucking, extricate the human being from poverty. But he doesn't, nor does Trump, nor do any of them, because they don't give a fuck about the human being. So Neuralink is just going to be chipping the human beings. It's going to be connecting them to the satellites, and then they're going to become drones, cyborgs. But I don't have a fucking problem with that. I don't have the slightest problem with that, because 99% of the fucking pink apes are already drones. They are already non-conscious beings. They're NPCs, non-player characters. They don't have any thinking. That's why the whole world is a fucking shitfest. They can't think their way out of a fucking paper bag. And so it's of no deficit. And this is where, I don't agree with David Icke. David Icke's like, oh, they want to do this and they want to do that, and chippers and make androids and whatever. And I'm like, the world's full of fucking androids already, Icke. Surely you know that by now. Just a bunch of fucking retards everywhere you look. And so whether they've got a chip in their fucking brain, and what of it? What of it? The only difference, people, with the chips in the brain, they won't need the media, because they can do it direct. But they're doing exactly the same thing now with the media, and all these, social, so-called freelance social media. They've all been bought and sold. You Tucker Carlson, your fucking Joe Rogan, fucking Piers Morgan, and all the rest of them, Russell Brand, they're all bought and sold. They're all bought and sold. They're all selling you shit. They're all indoctrinating you. They're spreading all the propaganda. They're getting richer and richer and richer, and more powerful. And when they get richer and more powerful, they get closer and closer and closer to the top of the Tower of Babel, where they're going to be joining all the rest of the fucking overlords. That's just how it goes, because once they've got this money and a little modicum of power, then they ain't never going to relinquish that. And then, of course, they're going to get made an offer that they can't refuse, and that's what they're going to be doing. The like of Zuckerberg, who bent over and took it up the arse during COVID. All this stuff, it's just insufferable. People don't see it, and people have got to wake the fuck up. That's what I'm saying. Elon isn't who you think he is. And even if Elon has a heart in the right place, and he is thinking about the future of mankind in 50 gazillion years, as preposterous as it is, as absolutely fucking ridiculous as it is, but if he is thinking that in his childlike fucking brain, then okay. And if he's thinking with his Neuralink that he's going to make paraplegics fucking better and this, that and the other, well, okay. But, the CIA would already be very, very deep. They'd be balls deep into Neuralink. The CIA are going to be balls deep in Neuralink, because they're going to be looking to see how they can manipulate the fucking pink ape, just like they have done with everything else, with out-of-body experiences, with psychedelics, with hypnosis, with remote viewing, with everything, MK Ultra. They've got fingers in every fucking thing, and so they're going to have it in Neuralink. And so do you think that it's going to be a free company? It's going to be a company for the people? No, it's not. It's going to be hijacked by the CIA, who incidentally are an autonomy unto themselves. There's no government. The American government doesn't control the CIA. In actual fact, most of the time they don't even know what they're fucking doing. And so you've got this president come in and that president come in. So what? Presidents mean fucking nothing to an establishment as big and as well fucking rooted as the CIA. The CIA is like an egregore, people. An egregore is an energy form unto itself, and it doesn't consist of any person or group of people per se, because the people, just like governments, they change. People will be coming in and out of the CIA. The CIA will always remain because it's now an autonomous entity. It's an egregore. Just like governments are egregores, they are actually they are a reality of a vacuum of energy. And you know, you can get this president, that president, you get Biden, Trump, Hillary and Obama and all this and all the different fucking shit that goes on and shenanigans, but this energy pertaining to the state remains the same. And every single person who is working for the state today could die tomorrow, but the state would still be there, and it would start replicating itself from the inside out. And this energy form will be sucking in all other human beings to start to do its work for it again. This world, this cosmos, is a very, very curious place, people, and it's vastly over and above the insight of the most individuals. So, the only company that I would think that's got credibility at this moment in time is the Boring Company, where Musk wants to put traffic underground, electric vehicles underground. Great. Put all the juggernauts underground. Take them all off the fucking road so we don't have to hear that and suffer that shit. Private people in cars and shit ain't going to be going underground. One, they're going to be terrified, and all it's going to need is a fire explosion, a bomb or something, and then nobody's ever going to fucking go down those hellholes again. So they're only ever going to be used as an automaton or automated system, just for electric fucking juggernauts going from one fucking city or country to the next. That's good, that's great. Yeah, get all these fucking shit belching fucking juggernauts off the road, and even if they're not belching out fucking CO2 or carbon monoxide, then you know, we don't want to see them, do we? Even if they are electric and this and the other, we don't want them on the roads. So look, that's Elon Musk for you, people. Now, if any of you want to get another opinion, then tune in to David Icke, davidicke.com or iconic.com. He's got a few channels, and you know, you'll have no problem finding him. And just type into the toolbar, you know, fucking David Icke, Elon Musk, and he'll tell you exactly what Elon Musk is. As far as he's concerned, as far as I'm concerned, and as far as anybody else with a brain's concerned. You know, Elon with his silly fucking dancing and in all his bullshit and in his stupid fucking tweets has got the idiot beguiled. And then it's like, oh yeah, he's got this rocket that comes back and then it fucking, you know, gets clasped, you know, between a whore's legs, like a big dick between a whore's legs. And that's so brilliant and it's so pioneering. What does it mean? What the fuck does it mean? You know, when's the last time anyone went to the moon? You know, if living on another fucking planet is viable, then you would have thought the moon's only 250,000 miles away. Yeah, people can get there in 3 fucking days with our modern day technology. If the technology gets better, they'll get there within 24 hours. So why, you know, don't they have moon bases? You would have thought, you know, they could take up liquid nitrogen and fucking, they could soon start to fucking, you know, build cities and all that business. But no, you know, Mars 8 months away and all that bullshit. Oh no. Just every fucking cell in my body, no. It's just not happening. But it's a ruse, it's a beguilement, and it's a fantasy, and human beings like fantasies, they're like Supermen. And so what Musk is doing is reenacting a fucking comic hero. That's all he's doing. But, you know, it'll all come out in the wash, people, because when brains start getting chipped and the satellites start controlling people, and then you've got these cyborgs like fucking Robocop and all this sort of thing, acting as policemen and, you know, this, that and the other, then you'll go, oh, only if I saw this coming. Well, some of us can see it coming. And so if you want to retain a little bit of your humanism, then you don't want chips in your brain under any circumstances. Because one thing's only going to lead to another. It's only going to get worse from there on. People could think that, you know, oh, it's a good thing, these paraplegics or these people with strokes, it's going to enable them to live this life better. Nobody gives a fuck about that. Nobody gives a fuck about people in third world countries dying all over the fucking planet every day. If you think they care, you're fucking idiots. They don't care about the spastics, the invalids, or the fucking retards. Not at all. It's just an excuse to get inside the human's head. Just like when Apple the British government approached Apple because they said to Apple, we want you to allow us to have the technology so we can look into the hard drive of every single Apple computer, because we want to protect people against paedophiles. Really? Well, whenever you catch them, which is very, 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 very seldom, because 90% of the government's paedophiles, and that's their thing. But if anybody should be caught for paedophilia, they put them in prison for 2 months. And or people like Jimmy Savile. Jimmy Savile was known to be a paedophile by MI5, by anybody. He was big mates with Prince Charles, the royal family, and all this and the other. Somebody sent me a video with loads of photos, and on one of these photos you've got Keir Starmer looking about 8 years old with Jimmy Savile's lecherous paedophile hands on his body. And so you have to know that every single one of these people that enter these governments have been pedoed. And that's why they get them. That's how they get them. That's how they control them. They pedo them from a very young age, and then they control them. And then they get them doing all different sorts of stuff, sucking a fucking Catholic priest's cock, this, that and the other, and then they go, well, if you don't fucking sell your soul to us, we'll just fucking leak this fucking cock-sucking video or photo. That's how it runs, people. That's how it's happening all over the world. Look at Macron. Macron's married a man who is pretending to be a woman. It's a fucking man. He was born a boy. Brigitte Macron was born a boy. Watch Candace Owens. And then I'm going to be doing a video with Patrick very soon, maybe this Sunday, about all the transgenders which have been heads of the royal families. You've got all these clearly, obviously men pretending to be women with the fucking Aunt Sally rouge on the cheeks and the lipsticks with a big fuck off Adam's apple, the deep voice, and the fucking jaw like fucking Garth. Oh my God, what a shocking fucking shitfest this world is. So I can understand why you want a hero, people. I can understand it. You look at people like Musk, when he's telling people to fuck themselves in the face. Well, yeah, he sounds like your boy. He doesn't sound like one of them. He's one of them through and through. If he wasn't one of them, he wouldn't be alive. Fucking trust me. Now then, let's have a look at what Trump's doing. Right, another hero for some people. Yeah, Trump's going to make America great again. Trump's going to make Trump great again. And if we just take one example now, what Trump's doing in relation to Ukraine. Trump is a businessman. He's a self-proclaimed businessman, and he's been doing deals all of his life. The deals involve money. That's all Trump does. He's not a philanthropist. He doesn't give a fuck about the American people. He gives a fuck about business, his business, money and power. So what does he want to do? And apparently him and Zelensky signed this deal the other day in the Oval Office, which gave America the contract for extracting trillions of dollars of minerals out of Ukraine. So Zelensky, because he's desperate, he's sold a patch of his fucking land, a patch of his resources. He's done what every African president has done throughout history. When Africans become presidents for 4 fucking years, well, they become trillionaires in that time, because what they do is they sign contracts with the gold, the diamonds, the copper, the bauxite, all the resources to that country. They sell that to the Western world, and then they go and live in fucking Paris or London or fucking Barbados. Meanwhile, they leave their fellow countryman in poverty with no natural minerals or resources, because they're all being extracted out of the country, and those countries are not receiving a penny. That's why Africa is absolutely broke, because they're under contracts with the Western world for 99 fucking years with every single fucking mineral that they've got in that fucking continent. So that's exactly what Trump and Zelensky's doing. Zelensky, because he don't want to back down, because he thinks Putin's a bastard and he's a cunt and he's going to pay. No, he's not going to pay. What the deal's going to be with Trump and Zelensky and Putin is that Putin's going to get part of the fucking land and the minerals, Trump's going to get part of the land and the minerals, and Zelensky's going to shut the fuck up and do what he's told, because he's just a two-bit fucking actor in a fucking teeny-weeny little fucking middleman position that nobody respects. And so that's all that's happening. The Ukrainians are being robbed, they're being fucked in the ass, all of their resources and whatever fucking power via their natural heritage is being sold, and so it's going to be a barren, empty, impoverished country from here on. America's going to get all the rebuilding and all the minerals, and all that money's going to be going back to America. Can you not see what's happening, people? And so there's no fucking heroes. There's no heroes, people. There's devils. That's what there is. Every single one of these people in a position of power is a devil. Bill Gates, philanthropist. Philanthropist, my fucking asshole. All he's done is extracted again all other countries' resources. He's practiced his filthy fucking shit on the African continent and on the Indian continent, and created infertility, polio, and all different sorts of fucking shit. He's been trying to get them under contract, so even every single fucking grain of wheat that they plant is patented and owned by America, owned by the Gates Foundation. They can't grow anything which isn't under license. Oh my god, it's shocking. If you look into the world, people, it's disgustingly vile. That's the pink ape for you. Not only have you got the pink apes on that level of power, but then you've got this stupid dumb motherfucker of the pink ape on the bottom rung of the ladder. In between these fucking runs of the ladder, you've got a sprinkle of a few decent human beings, a very, very, very small proportion, who have got integrity, and they know how to live and let live, and go forward as being a human being, not extracting and raping every fucking country and continent for the time being, but making sure they are planting and they're growing for the future. That's what the human being should be doing. It should be building with little concern for itself, but for the future, passing the baton on. If Musk wants to ensure that the human being survives, then he might want to fucking start investing a bit more money in this country, this continent, this fucking globe, to enable that to happen. But as it is, we are the vermin. Definition of vermin, by the way, is a species which is destructive and spreads disease. Well, fucking hell, need I say any more? We do nothing except destroy. And even if you think, oh, we build all these wonderful things, it's destroying the world. The world doesn't fucking need skyscrapers and fucking, trillion fucking ton bridges and this and the other, raping all the world, digging huge fucking holes and filling it with all the fucking shit that the human being discards, chopping down all the tropical rainforests and ruining the oceans and the lakes and the waterways. We are a virus and a verminous fucking curse on the earth. And so Musk, if you want to fucking save the human being, for fuck's sake, save us from ourselves. Save us from ourselves, Musk. Hear me now. Someone send him this fucking link. Musk, save us from ourselves, you knobhead. Fucking hell. What do you think about this? What do you think about this? Do you know any of this? Do you know what I'm talking about? Have you got any idea about any of the things I'm talking about? Some of you must have. The world is said to be run by evil entities. Some people call them archons, some people call them Nephilim, some people call them devils. There's all these names and ideas for why the human being acts in such a despicable way. But as far as I can see, I don't think we need archons, devils, and fucking demons, and Nephilim, and Anunnaki. I don't think we need any of those. I really don't. Because all I do is I just look around and I see evil in the vast majority of these motherfuckers. If you look at some interpretation of the archons is that people will say the archon, they're not necessarily this shape-shifting evil fucking beast that nobody's ever seen. No, the archon kind of like idea is the negative drive which affects the human being, like the mind virus, which wants us to be greedy and to be selfish and to be uncaring and all the rest of it. That's the archonic energy. We don't need archons hiding in the fucking clouds or devils living in the fucking core of the earth, sweating a little bit and cussing and this. We don't need those people. We've got all that shit in here. Every single one of us potentially has got it all in here. That's just what we are. We're a product of the yin and yang. We're a product of the paradox of the cosmos. We're a product of the polarities of the cosmos. It couldn't ever be any other way. And that's why human beings throughout millennia, we've invented these stories of angels and demons, gods and devils, and goodies and baddies, and cowboys and fucking Indians. For fuck's sake. It's a human being. We are it. There's nothing else, people. As far as the human being is concerned, there is nothing else outside of human consciousness. We can't perceive anything outside of human consciousness, albeit the chances are there's a whole lot of shit going on out there that we can't perceive. We can just perceive a tiny little fucking smidgen of consciousness, and we think that's the world. We think that's the cosmos. And when, with our tiny little fucking perception, we're looking out at the cosmos, or we're looking down a fucking microscope, or we're doing this, we think that's the cosmos, that's the world. That's your tiny fucking speck of consciousness, cunt. Doesn't matter how genius you think you are, you've got a tiny speck of fucking consciousness relative to cosmic consciousness. And so you don't know fucking nothing about the world or the cosmos. It's like a fucking gnat in its infinite wisdom, proclaiming it knows the nature of planet Earth because it can see out of its little fucking eyes, or it can feel the world like this. That's all the human being is, feeling the world with its fucking crap senses and reading it with its shit limited consciousness. The human being's nothing. It's nothing. We're a fucking disaster, a mutation. Just a mutation. And because we're just a mutation, or we're in the lineage of mutations, people are speculating now, what is the future Homo sapiens going to be like? Calling them future sapiens or something like that. What are they going to be like when we evolve more? When the brain maybe gets bigger? Who fucking hell? Is it going to get bigger? Not at this rate, not at this rate. Most certainly, if Musk has his way and every fucker gets a chip, it ain't getting any bigger, because it ain't going to do any more thinking. In actual fact, it's going to get tiny and tiny and tinier, till in the end we'll be walking around with like action men heads on our shoulders, because that's all we'll need, because we've just got a fucking chip. All you'll need is a space inside your skull for a fucking chip to go in. You don't need this fucking big head for a brain. No cunt's using it. Hardly anybody's ever fucking used it, in any case. The world's a shitfest. So what can any of us do? What we can do, people, if you don't want to have angst, anxiety, fear, suffering, pain, anguish, dread, depression, all this stuff, if you don't want to have that, then one of the things that you do is just stop looking and stop listening to that crock of shit out there. Just fucking go out into your garden, listen to the bees, look at the butterflies, plant your fucking seeds and pull out your weeds. Then you'll discover that you start to get closer and closer and closer to feeling fit, healthy, and let's say closer to God's creation of a natural human being living in and from the natural world, eating the natural substances and doing natural things, exercise, walking, working, and all this sort of thing. And so I'm always speaking to you about the kingdom of God, but I never, ever, 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 I've never, ever had a single fucking comment about, I know what the kingdom of God is, I know what you mean, Aaron. It just doesn't happen. Doesn't happen. So what am I supposed to think? Do you think that I'm supposed to treat you with respect and kindness? I don't give a fuck about the idiot. Just like them, no, they don't. Anyone with a brain doesn't give a fuck about the idiot. They're just idiots. Why would you give a fuck about a gnat? Why would you give a fuck about an ant or anything like that? Why? In actual fact, I care more about ants, because they're not fucking depleting the world's resources. They're not causing pollution and all the rest of it. You know, they work with one another for the ecosystem. We work against the ecosystem. We don't work with the ecosystem, people. And so when they're talking about the population, well, the population needs a massive reduction. It either needs a massive reduction, or there needs to be a limit on the volume of persons which can inhabit a city. And so, instead of having 1 billion fucking ants or like bees around a hive, you just fucking scatter them all. So it's like going back 100 years ago or 200 years ago, when, you know, the odd car could potter down the road 100 years ago, because there weren't cars 200 years ago. And, you know, people could walk freely and, you know, this, that and the other. I think, seriously, a population reduction is the way forward. Because nobody wants to keep expanding and expanding and expanding and using all these finite resources, because the powers that be go, fuck, why would we want to destroy the world's resources just to keep the fucking shitfest alive, just to keep the masses of dumb fucks alive? We don't need them anymore. We don't need people doing all this fucking manual labour. We're going to have robots to do it in 50 years. So in 50 years time, I'm telling you now, people, there'll be all different sorts of viruses come about. There'll be the fucking killing fields. It's going to come again, and you know, they're going to get what they want. They're going to get what they want. They don't want all these cities full of fucking idiots in the doorways and this, that and the other. You know, they want a population of 500 million. And they want this beautiful world, once the vermin's gone, for themselves. And to be quite frank, I wish them all the best. And if it was within my remit, then I'd opt for that as well. And if they said to me, well, let's start, you know, reducing population, I'll go, what do you want me to do first? What button do you want me to press first? First, what I would do is I would have some sort of mechanism in place where we can extract a few of the good ones out. And let's at least fucking extract, you know, the conscious ones, the spirited ones, the ones with real spirit and soul. Yeah, let's extract them out. I would be prospecting for those. I'd be like panning for gold. I wouldn't just fucking press the button. I'd go, well, let's give them the benefit of the doubt. Let's see if the gems can rise to the top, and then we'll just cream them all off and fucking, you know, put a torch to the scum. That's what I'd do. You know, and some people could say, oh, well, it's not, yeah, well, if you're a weak, pathetic person, then of course you want to protect yourself by saying that. But I'm guaranteeing if you are, you know, of high intelligence, your thoughts are not down there. Just like all these people with high intelligence, their thoughts are not down there. The only time they ever think about down there is how to control and kill the motherfuckers. Otherwise, they're always thinking about, you know, their beautiful rainforests and which are being depleted because all this scum needs the fucking wood and fucking this, that, and the other. No, they don't want to do it anymore. I'm telling you now, people, they don't want to do it. The likes of Gates and Soros, they're not doing that anymore. They're not going to do it forever. And so then you've got people like Musk. You know, it's kind of like a soft touch. The powers that be, yeah, just let Musk fucking buffoon and clown around and beguile all the idiots, and you know, he'll be telling them that you want to be a genius like me, yeah, all you gotta do is get this chip, and they'll all be queuing up, and then, like, you know, you can show a few movies of a few people with superpowers, and everyone will be like, oh, me, but then that superpower comes from the program, which is coming from the satellite, and as soon as you've got everyone to take that, you turn it off. And then all they are is fucking glorified chicken packers. I can see it already. Talk about fucking genius. Fucking hell. Oh my word, people. So I think I've put the world to rights, haven't I? I think I've put the world to rights. I've shown you what Trump is. I've shown you what Musk is. I've shown you what Gates is. I've shown you what... fucking the likes of Brand and Morgan and all of those. Tucker Carlson. Oh, you listen to Tucker Carlson and Piers Morgan talk amongst themselves. They're just a pair of... They've read a few books here and there. And then because they've got this power whereby, you know, the idiot has raised them up into being trillionaires, they've got out of their stations thinking that there's something. You listen to what they say and they're as dumb as fuck. The only reason they've got... You could say, oh, well, they can't be that dumb because look at where they've got. No, they've got where they've got because you're all dumb. Most of you are all dumb. You know, you're believing and tuning in and giving your energy to Carlson and fucking Morgan and all the rest of those twats. That's why they are fucking wealthy, because most people are stupid. You know, to be wealthy these days, it isn't a credit to the individual. It's a decredit to the masses, because they will fucking fund them in any which way. They'll be all voting Musk. Oh, vote Elon, vote Elon. It's shocking. It's absolutely shocking. You see, if anybody was really intelligent, what would you be looking at? You'd be looking at cleaning up the oceans. You'd be looking at stop cutting down the rainforests. You'd be looking at cleaning the air and doing all this, that and the other. And, you know, if you look at the globalists, then on paper, that's what it looks like. That's what it looks like they're trying to do. But there's lots of things about what they're trying to do which don't make economic sense. It doesn't add up when you look at the resources, because, you know, like say to build one of these windmills which is going to generate power from wind eventually, well, it costs so much oil and fucking coal and shit to begin with. You know, and apparently they're not that efficient in any case. And then with the batteries, you know, the batteries just, all this stuff, all the minerals and fucking whatever they need to do this and the technology, people are saying, well, you know, the world is going to be at a deficit for the next fucking 100 years just to fucking fund this shit. And so, I don't know. You know, it's very difficult to work out all this stuff because you've got scientists will tell you one thing, scientists will tell you another thing, just like politicians. Everybody will tell you the polar opposite. And to the uninitiated, to the ignorant, or to the not very well informed, both sides are going to sound feasible because they're going to prepare their arguments very carefully. And this is what we're dealing with, people. So we can't really find truth, can we? Because truth, ultimately, it most certainly has to be a subjective experience. It can't be a reality out there, because if truth was a reality out there, then you would think the vast majority of people would have an adherence to it. But if you stop 1,000 people in the street and ask them what their definition of truth is and who they think is true and this and the other, well, you're going to get 1,000 different answers, aren't you? You're not all going to be getting people that are going to be telling you, oh, this is true, that's true, unless they've all been propagandized by the media, because that's all they're going to say. But if you did it with 1,000 thinking people and asked them, well, what do you think? Well, they're going to go premised on all their knowledge, what they've learned, and they can only ever think about what they've learned and what they've been privy to. For instance, look, my life, I've led a certain life, and all the things I've listened to and all the things I've read have brought me here to my opinions and my state of consciousness and level of intelligence, this, that and the other. Well, I mean, sit me next to a dozen other 61-year-olds who are equally well read and travelled and this, that and the other. Well, the chances are we're all going to see the world in very, very different ways. You know, because it's just how it is. Because it's a very curious thing. There isn't one way. There isn't one truth. The cosmos is a paradox, people. It's a full-blown paradox in any shape or form. And all we can ever do is just keep bouncing around flippers like a ball bearing in a fucking what do you call these fucking machines? A pinball machine. Yeah, we're just like ball bearings in pinball machines. We're just getting buffered from here, there and everywhere. And in the interim, we think we're living, and we think we've got purpose, and we think we are creating our own destiny, when we're just fucking pinball ball bearings, but we can't see the flippers and we can't see the fucking barriers which are shoving us off here and there and everywhere. Anyway, people, I'm going to chill the fuck out.